Hello, I'm Jenny Chandler and I want to introduce you to my new book, Pulse. I decided to write a book about pulses because I feel that lentils, chickpeas and beans have finally lost that really worthy, wholesome, hippie label that they suffered for some very strange reason in Britain. And suddenly they're becoming a little bit more hip and mainstream. You look at other cultures and they don't have that whole problem with them having that kind of worthy, rather sort of wholesome image. You go to France and you're probably more likely to find a bit of confit of duck or sausage or pork thrown into their beans in something like a cassoulet. Or you go to Spain and you'll have some chorizo thrown in with your beans. So we're not talking about all these wonderfully healthy, lean lentil salads all of the time. Of course, there are some of those as well. But some of the dishes are actually truly indulgent feasts. The thing is about legumes, they're unbelievably versatile ingredients. If you think about it, you have things like hummus, falafel, dal, chili con carne. There are just masses and masses of options. I teach cooking. I teach lots of amateur cooks and foodies. And over the years, I've discovered that so many people really love eating pulses, but don't really know how to cook them at home or don't have much of a repertoire of recipes. So firstly, what I've tried to do is demystify that whole business of the soaking and the cooking. It's all really very straightforward. And also, I think people forget, you put the time into cooking a great big pot of beans, but then you might have your pot of chickpeas. On day one, you might make hummus. On day 3, you might make a fantastic chickpea and chorizo dish. And on day 5, you might put them into an Indian chana masala. The fact is that they'll keep for days in the fridge. You can freeze them as well, which I never realised until I started writing this book. So the whole idea is making pulses work for you in your kitchen. They're incredibly versatile. The reason I wanted to write about pulses now is because I feel that a lot of us have got a lot less money to spend on food, and pulses are unbelievably economical. They're incredible value if you buy them dried and cook them from scratch, and even if you just buy them by the tin, you get a lot for your money. Legumes are an absolutely fantastic source of protein, so obviously they've always been considered vegetarian food. And yes, they are great for vegetarians because you team them with a cereal and you have a complete protein. But also, I think another great thing is that if you live in one of these mixed households, and there seem to be more and more of them around, where you've got, say, a couple of meat eaters and a vegetarian, you don't have to cook 2 different dishes. I've put recipes in the book where, with a little bit of minor tweaking, and I've given you some little tips, you can cook the same dish and then you take it in 2 directions and suddenly you can feed the whole family without having to cook 2 completely separate meals. We've got a huge problem in this country with obesity, type 2 diabetes. Basically, we all need to eat more healthily, and pulses are filled with protein. They've got masses of nutrients in them. And also the other great thing about them is that they keep you full for ages. They've got lots and lots of fibre, so you're really unlikely to be diving into your bar of chocolate within a couple of hours of eating. So that's another reason why I'd really recommend them. Also, the feel-good factor. We all really, as far as I'm concerned, eat too much meat. We all need to eat less meat, probably better quality meat, because of the carbon footprint of meat, and also actually for our own health. So, there's the feel-good side to it as well. So what's in the book? Well, I started off with really simple dips and purees. The obvious one is hummus, which we all seem to eat by the ton nowadays, and yet hardly everybody actually makes it for themselves. It's unbelievably simple to make. And there are so many variations. You can have it with roasted vegetables in, garlic out, tahini in, tahini out. Really, it's so unbelievably versatile. People forget how brilliant legumes can be for baby food. So we've got a little section about baby food there. And then onto soups. There are things like minestrone, but also there's a chickpea chilli and mint soup, which is literally an empty the can, throw a couple of bits in, which is the one I always recommend to students when they leave home if they want a really quick, satisfying supper. There are also elegant dinner party starters. You know, beans and lentils, chickpeas don't have to all be about these big sort of wholesome hearty stews. You can do really nice little elegant things such as these scallops with a pea puree. I've got a little section on fritters and pancakes. I absolutely adore these beetroot and feta falafel. And these are just a modern twist on obviously an absolute classic. And then I have a section on salads. A lot of them work really well as little packed lunches to take with you to work. Then move on to side dishes. A lot of the side dishes can actually become main courses in themselves. What I've tried to do all the way through the book, you've got little sections at the side here which are different options that you can do with the dish. How about adding a little bit of chorizo and turning a vegetarian dish into a carnivorous delight? There's quite a decent sized vegetarian section, of course, because, you know, we mustn't forget that vegetarians have been eating pulses all over the world as their mainstay of their diet. And also, really importantly, a lot of the vegetarian recipes, there's a little option of how to throw in a little bit of meat if you've got one of those resolute carnivores in your family who won't be happy with a bowl of lentils. And then we build up to a section that I call the full Monty. And this section is all about those dishes where you've got chicken or fish or meat thrown in with your beans, and it really does become a huge sort of self-indulgent feast, which would really keep you going if you were about to go and run a marathon. And then the last little section, which might seem rather surprising, are one or two sweet recipes. I discovered that actually there are some really traditional puddings made with legumes, such as Noah's pudding or ashure from Turkey, which has sort of chickpeas and beans and rice in it. And then one or two other more surprising entries perhaps, such as black bean brownies. And this one, surprisingly, has been an absolute winner with my friends and family. The texture of the beans is just really wonderfully juicy, and obviously it's great for anybody who might have a problem with gluten. So through the book there's about 160 recipes, loads and loads of different options, and I would assume that this will keep most of you going for at least a decade as far as cooking beans is concerned, and you'll use it as a springboard for lots and lots of other recipes and ideas.